Boyfriend cheats on me, so I made him tattoo my name on his body. My boyfriend cheated on me on my birthday, so I tattooed my sneaky link's initials on my body twice and didn't get caught. All names have been changed and I am going to be deliberately vague so as not to expose my identity. So I'll just start from the beginning. I moved to a new, much bigger city about a year ago. Within a month of me getting here, an old friend from college reached out and said he would be in my new city and wanted to get some drinks and catch up. He told me that he would staying with one of his friends who has a penthouse downtown. This friend, we'll call him Alex, who has the penthouse, ended up becoming my sneaky link. He has a girlfriend, and I believe they have a kid, which he did disclose to me the first night we met. I on the other hand do not have a so or any kids. Fast forward about 3 months into me being in this new city, I meet my boyfriend who we'll call Josh. We instantly hit it off and I was convinced that he would be my husband, and I'm sure he felt the same way. For the first 6 months of our relationship, everything was amazing. Great communication, no arguments, practically living together, financially stable. He even bought me a promise ring. Everything was great. Until the night of my birthday. I got into a really bad accident on the night of my birthday and I didn't have insurance, so I wasn't able to go to the hospital, even though looking back I 100% needed to. I came home and Josh took care of me. He was amazing. He helped me with everything and made sure that I never had to move, let alone leave the house, as my face had obvious trauma. Now remember, everything has been great up until this point, so I never really had a reason to go through this phone, but I just had this aging feeling in my gut. Luckily for me, he fell asleep with his phone unlocked in his hand that night. I swear I really tried to fight the urge to look. I walked over to him and then walked away, but the feeling wasn't going away, it was getting worse. So I looked. I honestly wish I hadn't, but in a sense I'm kind of glad I did, because had I not, who knows what else would have happened. As I'm scrolling through his messages, I see unsaved numbers that he had previously told me were family or co-workers. He is the manager of a large department store, so this was plausible. Except that when I clicked on them, the messages were clearly not meant for family co-workers. He was texting these girls talking about how he missed them and he just wanted to catch up and blah blah blah. Little stuff that I could have gotten past honestly, until I started looking deeper. He was literally texting a girl asking her to come over, sending her pictures of the bottle of liquor that we were supposed to drink together, and saying that he quote had a massage waiting for her if she came over. I've always had pretty bad taste, and as messed up as it sounds, I would have been willing to move past this except for the fact that he sent this messages on the night of my birthday. I was out with my girlfriends. That's how I ended up getting into a car accident without him. I was not driving and was not at fault that night, bringing in a milestone birthday while my future husband was at home asking girls to come over. Mind you, he was invited to come out that night and even bring his friends if he wanted, because it was a big birthday for me and I wanted him there, but he refused, saying I should have fun and he didn't want to be a burden as he was tired from work. Of course I confronted him about this and he apologized and said he'd change his behavior, etc., etc. I believed him because, as I said before, everything was great before this. Mind you, I have not seen or had any contact with my sneaky link since I started dating Josh. If you knew me, you'd know that I was very mindful of this because I didn't have the best upbringing and cheating was somewhat normalized to me at this point, so for me to not cheat or even think about cheating at all was a big deal. But about a month after my birthday I started becoming resentful. I hated that I went out of my way to be better and do better for him, and this was how he repaid me? By inviting someone else into our home, our bed, on my birthday? Okay. So without really thinking I called my sneaky link, who apparently had been waiting on my call because he was more than ready to see me. He does tattoos as a side hustle, that will be important in a moment. I get there, we have a couple shots and talk for about 2 hours before we even do the deed, which was odd because we never really talked. It was usually straight to the point when I got there. While we were talking, he jokingly suggested I tattoo his name, and me being the impulsive person that I am said, where would we put it so that no one sees it? He proceeds to pull out some ink that is literally the same color as my skin and says we can put it anywhere if the ink matches. We did just that. He tattooed his initials on my body twice, once on my arm and once on my ribs. They are so small that I literally can't even find the one on my arm, even though I know exactly where it is. The one on my ribs you can only see if you pull the skin in the perfect angle. As I said before, this whole visit with Alex, sneaky link, was different than our past encounters already. When it's time for me to leave, I always leave by myself, but today he decided to walk me to my car. As we get to the doors of the building, guess who's standing there waiting? You guessed it, Josh. Apparently he had my location on his phone and came here to see what I was doing. Alex plays it off super smooth and says the words I was trying to formulate, which was I was giving her a tattoo consultation. Is everything okay? Josh believed this and we went home, but he still thought something was off. I knew for sure that I had gotten away with it. That is until I started undressing and had literal handprints on my behind. Josh was the one to notice and point them out. I played dumb and said my jeans were too tight and they must have left a mark. I then proceeded to get upset, claiming that he didn't trust me and that this wasn't fair because he was the one that was talking to other girls, not me. I had already had an apartment lined up and happened to be moving in that week, so it worked out perfectly that I didn't have to be around him during the time that the tattoos were scabbed and healing. I planned to go back after they healed because at that point I had played the game and definitely beat him at it. I went back for about a month, then realized there was nothing left here for me anymore. The man I thought I'd marry had made me so angry that I literally tattooed my Sneaky Links initials on my body despite knowing we'd never even so much as be in a relationship. I left and he has since caught a felony fraud charge, lost his job house and is now living with his mom, which can only last so long. I don't wish any ill will on him, but I don't want to see him ever again. As for the Sneaky Link, I will be going to see him tomorrow and I don't regret it at all. L won and lost at the same time. I don't know how much I really lost as he was cheating and no one will ever know about the tattoos, but still. Either way, I tattooed another man's initials on me and he never even noticed. Please like and subscribe.